From terrible Edgar mains to Kenjis that will kill you with a single slice, here's one stereotype for every brawler in Brawl Stars. Everyone knows one Edgar that thinks he's indestructible. We often see him jump onto the biggest brawlers in the game. What's even worse is that even if he had 100 enemies in front of him, he wouldn't think twice before jumping on them. You just hopped in a solo showdown match and spawned beside a crow? Congrats, because now he will follow you through your entire match until he kills you. Leave me alone! Some players have had enough of Nerf Poco memes, and because of that, they chose to join the dark side. These players equip Screeching Solo to actually damage opponents rather than to heal their teammates. Rico is one of the only brawlers that can bounce his projectile, and because of this, players act like they need to use this feature every single time. So, whenever they find themselves in a situation where they should shoot the opponent, they find a wall to bounce the shot off first, and it doesn't usually end well. Jeans literally love to troll players by pulling the biggest tanks in the game. Tara is not a sidekick. If she was, then she would expect players and know their locations. But in reality, she just attacks people to build up her super and throws it on no one. Colts always miss their target, and bonus points if he tries to break indestructible walls. Mr. P's that spam their porters are literally the most annoying players ever. They literally just spam their super and gadget, and now there's a whole army of porters coming right at you. Did you know Byron can be an imposter? That is, if he chooses to avoid healing you and proceeds to only attack opponents. Colette players always miss their super or pick the worst possible map where they can't use their super properly. If you ever see Mortis in a Brawl Ball match, the chances that he's a trick shot enthusiast are pretty high. These Mortis players always try to hit the craziest shots that they miss 99% of the time and almost exclusively do it when you're about to win. Thanks, Mortis. Have you seen the Shelly stereotype? Chances are you probably didn't because she's camping in the bush. And the moment you get closer to her, she'll just demolish the living soul out of you. Honorable mention, this stereotype is actually the oldest one in the game, and they've been making players mad for quite a while. But speaking of camping, there are also Rosa players who swear by this as well. However, they usually get eliminated very quickly. Brock is the type of player that misses every single shot, and when they get hit even slightly by their opponents, they spam all of their abilities and none of them hits the opponent. El Primo is the GOAT, and because of this, he doesn't have any And the next brawler stereotype is for Barley? Do these even exist? No, they don't. Next, there's always that one Nita player that literally spams Bruce all of the time. What's even worse is that the existing bear gets replaced every time you super. Why are you using your super while he's full HP? Whenever you see a Dynamite with a cool skin, you know he's going to make you throw your phone into a river. These Dynamites are the ultimate tryhards, always using their Dyna Jump ability and predicting your every move. And when I see them, I just exit the game. Pika is a professional bull main, but some players want to be just like him, and they suck. They literally use their rush super to try and do the best clutch in the world and die every single time. You're not him. Stereotypical Jackie looks something like this. You get into a match, then hide in a bush. When the enemy passes by you, go and chase him until you kill him. That is, if you can, which isn't often. Ticks have to be the most annoying players to play against. These players can be usually found in Hot Zone or Gem Grab, and they will literally go into a corner of the map and just spam their bombs, which somehow seems to win games. If you're Gus that doesn't know how to use his super, then you should leave Brawl Stars for good. These players literally can't aim their shield and probably end up missing it. However, the only time they manage to hit with it is when they are shooting enemies with it. Every time I play Jessie, my turret is totally useless. However, when there's a Jessie on the enemy team, for some reason it's the most powerful turret ever. And if you put hypercharge on top of that, yeah, I'm smashing my phone. But speaking of turrets, you've most definitely encountered pennies that leave their turret in the corner of the map and bombard everything. Daryls aren't the most common players out there, but when you run into one, they usually just do barrel rolls over water and end up in the zone. No, Daryl! Carl are those types of players who always mess up their getaway with gadget. When you start chasing them, they'll just end up in a wall and get eliminated. Most 8-bit players use the teleportation gadget, but then there are ones who use the extra credits gadget, and well, they just go ahead and miss every shot with the gadget activated. Angelos literally have wall hack. I don't know how, but these players always find a way to hit you in the bush every time. And on top of that, they'll just camp over over the water. Zero ping stews are literal menaces to society. These players have the most cool looking skin and always manage to land hits and dodge projectiles. Leave me alone! Sam players always use the Sudoku cycle. It goes like this. You throw Sam's knuckles, then run and pick them up, then attack the enemy with knuckles, and repeat the cycle. Belle doesn't have any specific stereotype, but players who get hit by her do. Every time players get hit by her, they get grouped together, making her attack the most effective. If you're doing this, please stop it. Everyone knows B has 1 ammo, and because of that, we have machine gun Bs. These B players literally go around spamming their attack as soon as they spawn. Help! Piper has been through some buffs and changes, and some of them created low effort pros. For example, her homing star power and knockback gadget made it so easy for these stereotypes to just run away and snipe you with ease. These Ems players literally don't know how to use their super. Ems are those types of players which literally use their super at the worst possible times. Sometimes they will even activate at the perfect time and then walk away, just like my dad. Lolas are always spamming their super and gadget that heals them, making them immortal. Hank mains have to be the most dedicated players out there. Besides using Hank's potential to maximum, they even wear costumes to impersonate Hank. This is probably the reason why Hank needs to be nerfed. If you ever tried to attack Gale and he pushes you back, well, you just met untouchable Gale. This Gale seriously understood the meaning of boundaries and he'll definitely make you go away. Bye bye. Nani will absolutely catch you off guard, because if you thought that Peep is going to only explode, well, it's actually going to be Nani behind your back. And I got eliminated. Bo can place an infinite amount of mines on the map, and players who do this are actual nightmares. They always place them in the most random spots, and they somehow always hit me. Grom players that miss their shots every time are the worst. Grom usually does pretty good damage, but also requires you to be a pretty good player, which usually is not the case. Pearl is such an underrated brawler, and when you see one, run, because he's going to absolutely melt you. Larry and Lori got a lot of nerfs, but some players literally make that go unnoticed. By hitting every time and Lori dealing massive amounts of damage, these players cannot be stopped. There's always that one Frank player who loses matches and blames it on lag, but the truth is, you're just a noob. Griff's piggy bank gadget is useful in situations where you need to break objects. However, there are Griffs who use that ability to defend themselves. The problem is that it takes a long time to explode and deals low damage. If you see Macy, she'll probably use her ultimate super chain. This super chain is essentially spamming her super and adding hypercharge on top of it. Bonnies are the type of players who wait for the worst opportunities to throw themselves into danger, and well, they die. Pam is a good healer, but she can be a stealer too, because many Pams will go and steal all of your ammo using her gadget. BB makes Rico look useless. With new BB's hypercharge introduced, she can spam a bunch of bubbles, and these BB players are not afraid to use it on you. Ashes think that they can defeat the strongest opponent with rage, but they'll find a quick way back to the lobby. Buzz players will literally hide in a bush and just charge their super, and after that, they'll just miss it. If you want to play a stereotypical Chuck, then place 3 poles on map and spam your super to get the easy win. Charlie can hit her targets quite easily using auto aim, and besides that, she has only 1 ammo. That's why when you're going to see most of them go around and spam attack as soon as they spawn, and if they're lucky enough, they might even get a kill. Doug will never give you a hot dog to revive you. Because of that, we have Phoenix Dougs who always revive themselves and are literally unkillable. Everyone knows Willows have their mind control ability. However, not many know that it heals enemies to their max HP, and sometimes Willow mains will use mind control on low health enemies, saving them from being eliminated. Thanks, Willow! Otis mains will straight up humiliate you. With Otis's silencing super, they'll just make you unable to use your attacks and spin around. And I'm dizzy. There are RTs who pretty much play as Jackie, because RT super detaches his head and switches his attack to area damage. This can be useful, but these players use it as their main attack strategy, making them more vulnerable, and well, they just die. Max is fast, and some players get motivated to try impossible projectile dodging maneuvers, only to get hit by absolutely every projectile and be eliminated. Melody players will play her just because of this voice line.
Melodians,
yeah, I think there's nothing more to say. Gray players be like, trust me bro, I'm good, and teleport right in front of Shelly's waiting with their supers. They'll also fail every single gene pull. Sprout players are builders, and they'll just straight up spam the whole map with their super, but most of the time, this just ends up giving their team an annoying disadvantage. Taking off may be fun, but remember you have to land too. That's something Janet players have a hard time understanding, and they'll just land in the most dangerous situations of all time and die. Fighting lilies can be annoying. The moment you get a big advantage over them, they'll just disappear. Like, what? Blues are the type of players to throw their super over the hot zone and make it an ice skating zone for everyone. Yippee! Miko stealers come to attack you and dodge every attack you throw at them, and now you're left without ammo and get demolished by him. Delete Miko. Fang mains are literal no-skill players. All they have to do is charge their super and delete the whole team using it. Busters usually come along with the team, and they'll use a cheesing strategy by protecting them, making his team finish the job for him. Roughs use their buffing super only for themselves, leaving you with none. For them, sharing is not caring. Squeaks hit players, and the next thing those players do is come closer to their team, damaging everyone and maximizing his attack damage. Go away! Ah! Eve used to be the only brawler that could hover over water, but even though there are other brawlers with this ability now, they still choose to just hover over the water the entire match. Surges are the pinnacle of justice. These players play amazing, and when they see a teamer in a solo showdown, they demolish them. We need more no-teamer surges. Sandy is sleeping, and while that may not sound like something new, Sandy players literally use their sleeping gadget in the middle of a fight, ending up sleeping much deeper than they should. Leons literally use their invisibility to spectate the match. Most of the time, they'll activate their super in the worst possible situations and attack, making them waste their super. You're chilling as usual in a solo showdown, and boom! You're thrown into a shadow realm with Cordelius, and now he's going to make you smash your phone. Amber gameplay is simply pressing the auto aim gadget and letting the game do all the work for you. Congratulations, now you're a pro. Spikes always have their curveball star power ready, and they'll hit you from all angles. You can't hide from Spike. Draco's super activates his dragon form, but if you have low HP, you're gonna get eliminated before you can even get to shoot the fire, like most Draco players do. Kit players are always impersonating Leon. With their box gadget, they spawn right behind your back and eliminate you when you're least expecting it. You're not him. Chester is a luck-based brawler, and every time I have a Chester on my team, he gets the worst possible luck, usually ending up as the reason why we lost. Meg is pretty good in her mecha form, which is why most players try to speedrun getting her mecha form whenever they get kicked out of it. Kenji's camp inside a bush with tons of power cubes, and the moment you pass by, they use their super, slicing you into nothing. Clancy mains will head straight into the match just to spam their super and get that stage 3 to demolish you and your mom. Juju may seem like a balanced brawler, but in reality, Gris is the one who needs the nerf. These players will throw him at you, and he'll probably do the whole job for her. I mean, he can literally kill some brawlers without Juju's help. Mo has the smallest hitbox out of all the brawlers, and players will literally dodge all of your projectiles effortlessly without even moving. Then, they'll just drill you out of the match. Barry might be a support brawler, but players make him look like a tank and high damage dealer because they'll just spam their super and essentially be immortal. Mandy's will always find you. These players, besides sniping you in the bush all the time, will also snipe you with her super from the other side of the map. This has to be hacking. You thought Max was fast? Well, Shade players will make that look slow as a slug because they will spam their super until they become insanely fast, and they can go through walls. Peekaboo! There you have it, 86 stereotypes in Brawl Stars. Make sure to subscribe and check out the video on the screen.